Well, good morning, boys and girls. It's Monday, March 23rd. Today, your learning targets will be IXL. Remember the lesson reviews, math board fractions. Check that out again. Problem set 3, I'll have a lesson and go through a couple examples and do a couple on the actual problem set with you. And back to Earth's Systems iTunes U course, we're going to take a look at the La Brea tar pits. Top 10 places to discover dinosaur fossils, and a great video on YouTube called Raising the Mammoth. Remember your IXL lesson review looks like this. I chose Lily to give an example. She's got one right here. She's got about 5 more points and she'll finish that one. And in her subtraction, she's at 40, so she can finish that up to 100%, but she has a lot of other 100% in here. So Lily, I can see you've been working on those. Then I'd like for you to go to Math Board Fractions, take a look at the fractions to parts, parts to fractions, and today spend some time on simplifying fractions. If you need to, go to the Learn button and it will teach you some of the steps here. Okay, now to our lesson. Today we're going to look at repeated fractions and how we can use multiplication. So I want to start simple and go back to repeated addition. So repeated addition, if I were to look at 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is a total sum of 12. But we can write this a little bit easier. We can also say it is the number 3. Whoops, let me go back to a pen. We can say this is the number 3 4 times. So 3 times 4 would produce the same answer, 12. Let's take a look at another example. If I had repeated addition, again here, I'm looking at 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That is a total of 4 5 times. So 4 times 5, another way to say this, 20. Okay, now let's apply this to repeated fractions. So if I'm working with thirds in this example, I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. I would have a total of 4/3. So another way I can write this is I can say 1/3 4 times. If I had 1/3 4 times, that's just simply saying I'm repeating 1/3 using addition 4 times, and that would produce 4/3. And that's an improper fraction, so you could change that. 3/3 makes 1 whole, and you'd have that extra third left over, making 4/3. All right, another example, a little review from what you've already done on problem set 1 and 2. You are decomposing fractions. In this case, you have a whole fraction bar broken up into 5 equal parts. We call those fifths. 4 of those fifths are shaded. So we are showing the fraction 4/5 here. 4/5 can be decomposed as 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. You can see each of those 1/5 right there, making a total of 4/5. Now another way you could write this, since they are all 1/5, you can say that is equivalent to 1/5 4 times. And 1/5 times 4 will give you 4/5. Let's take a look at another one, similar to what you've done already. You also have seen where they can decompose 2/5 together. So here we've got 4/5. Another way to write 4/5. You can combine these and call it 2/5 plus 1/5 plus another 1/5 is a sum of 4/5. Now this may look a little tricky, but you can do this. 4/5 equals 2/5 plus, we'll put these together, 1/5 times 2. Okay, so putting those in parentheses means 1/5 times 2, that's 1/5 2 times. That's going to give you 2/5 plus another 2/5 would equal a total of 4/5. All right, let's see if we've got one more example here. We do. Okay, I'm taking a look at this one entire fraction bar. I have one whole fraction bar from here to here that represents the number 1. So you can see I have more than 1 here. But from here to here, representing the number 1, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. So in the one whole bar, I'm working with eighths. And so you can see I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eighths makes a whole. But there's another 9 eighths and 10 eighths. So altogether I have 10 eighths. They decompose this one as 1/8 10 times. So I can rewrite this a little bit easier. 10 eighths can also be written as 1/8 10 times. All right, or you could say it as 10 times 1/8 equals 10 eighths. Okay, let's look at one more example and then we'll do a couple on our problem set. So here I have an entire fraction bar. You can see one whole bar. It's equally cut into 4 parts. We call those fourths. 3 of those are shaded, so we're looking at 3/4. 3/4 can be written as 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. We can simplify that as calling it 3/4 equals 3 times 1/4. That's 1/4 3 times. All right, let's take a look at our first example in problem set 3. We're going to decompose each fraction modeled by a tape diagram as a sum of unit fractions. Tape diagram, sum of unit fractions. These are each unit. Then we're going to write the equivalent multiplication sentence. So 3 times 1/4 equals 3/4. So if I look at this one, it has one whole fraction bar broken up into fourths. 3 of them are shaded, so we're looking at 3/4. Each unit fraction is 1/4, another 1/4, and another 1/4. Add those together, you've got 3/4, which is equal to 3 times 1/4. All right, let's take a look at, I wanted to do E with you guys, okay? All right, E is a little tricky because you can see it goes beyond one whole. There's one whole, but then you have an extra. So first look at one whole. How many parts make up one whole here? We've got 1, 2, 3 parts. 3 parts make up a whole, and I can see that I'm working with thirds here. Now take those thirds and count them back up. 1, 2, 3 of them make a whole, but I actually have 4 of them. So this is an improper fraction, more than one whole. How can we rewrite this? Well, we can decompose it as 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is a total of 4/3. Or if we were to simplify this into a multiplication sentence, I'm going to say that 4/3 is equivalent to 1/3 times 4. Okay, I have 1/3 4 times. So 4 times 1/3 equals 4/3. I wanted to do one more example with you on the second part of your page. Actually, 3 more examples here. So write the following fractions greater than 1. Okay, so we have greater than 1. You can see we've got 1 again, goes to there, so we're dealing with thirds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them altogether. 5/3 can be decomposed as 1/3 plus 1/3 plus another 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. Okay, I'm going to simplify that as a multiplication sentence because I see I have repeated addition. It's the same 1/3 over and over and over and over and over again, 5 times. So I'm going to rewrite this as 5/3 equals 5 times 1/3. All right, and take a look at this 1, 2, 3, 4 parts make up one whole fraction bar. So we've got fourths, but altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. 6 fourths altogether is equivalent to 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. How can we write this one? Well, we can call it 6/4 is equal to 6 times 1/4. Okay? And last example I'll give you is E. You can see that I now have to draw my fraction bar. So I'm looking at the fraction 7/6. I know I need 6 parts to make one whole. So I drew to here, showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. That names my denominator. 6 equal parts to get one whole. 6, 6 makes one whole, but I have one extra 6. So altogether I have 7/6. And I can write that as, I'll let you guys do this part, 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And then write the equivalent multiplication sentence with that. Then you'll go into your iTunes U course. It's called Earth Structures or Earth Systems. You're going to go into the fossils and rock formation. Take a look here. Today you are going to check off raising the mammoth. Oops, let me check these off. Okay. Just start by doing the La Brea tar pits. And then check off top 10 places to discover dinosaur fossils and raising the mammoth. This is a long series. It's a YouTube video. There are 12 parts to it. So if you want to skip around in there, you can get to the good stuff. But in the La Brea tar pits, I wanted to zoom in on here. This is a website. I want you guys to look into the museum exhibits. And then you'll check out all of the museum exhibitions at the La Brea Tar Pits Museum. All right, and I'll leave you with this little highlight, and have a great day.